Hi, I'm Chris Jorstead with the Best Arizona Home, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to go over the turbulent market that we're seeing right now and talk a little bit about some of the metrics that I'm seeing. And I like to look at the numbers, so what we're going to do is actually go through the actual numbers of what we're seeing, look at some articles, some very well written articles, and just talk about what we're seeing as far as projected outcasts or projected numbers, but as well as to talk a little bit about where we think the market's headed. I think just kind of, of course, everything's an opinion. I'm no one really knows for sure, but I can give you, what the numbers are looking like and what I'm hearing people say and what we're hearing from economists that. From one opinion and also from the other. So I think that it's important to kind of look at what's going on and see what we can find out. So what I tried to do here was actually pull some, this is the actual MLS data from the Arizona region, so I went as far up as Sun City, north, and then we worked down to Phoenix as well as into Casa Grande and Mesa area. So we covered quite a bit of area and got a lot of different reports to get an idea of what we're seeing. Some of the metrics used here. So we look at the number of listings month over month. You can see I'm going to make this bigger for you. But you can see that the story really is kind of different than I think what we're hearing in terms of people saying there's going to be a crash, so to speak, or whatever. But you can kind of see that like on the number of listings here, for example, at the top left, we can identify that the new listings, right, have gone down a little bit, but the active listings that actually came on, so people that were thinking about it probably decided to list during this period because they're seeing the the possibility that because rates are going up, it's going to be a little less active, and that's absolutely true. We're definitely seeing that, but I think there's a little bit that's not being said in regards to some of the loan programs that are available for certain demographics, and we'll talk about that in a second. But so the absorption rate is a measurement of inventory versus demand, and as we see, that's been really, really low. And so seeing that come up, 6 to 7 months inventory, starts to get somewhat where we really start to see lower, in absorption rate terms, we start to see lower house prices and somewhat depreciation. We're not there yet, and let me show you some more numbers on that. So this is just one demographic, right? So that's what I want to stress is what I think is important is to look at some of the numbers on a microeconomic scale rather than just kind of assuming everybody's following suit in the nation. So what we're going to do is look at I want to look at Mesas. Well, actually, first we should look at Phoenix just because that's going to give us a really good demographic to be looking at because it's so big and changes a lot. So same thing here. We have the active listings coming on, people that we're going to list decided to, and then you have here though we see new listings increasing, right? So a little bit different, but in terms of absorption rate, see how we have very similar trends in what we're seeing in terms of absorption rate coming up. That means it's slowing down. We're starting to see a really spiked, a fast slowdown, and I can show you why that's happening. That's because of the interest rates and because of some of the programs that were no longer available to first-time homebuyers especially. So we have here from February, March, April, May. So going from April to May, you see a huge decline in days on the market, and I think that's really important to identify because you have on the other side where you have sellers that decided to sell now you have buyers that decided, well, I need to buy now before rates continue to come up. And it didn't even affect really that much as far as days on market for Phoenix. They had a lot of other people. So like I said, you don't even see some of the trends on a smaller scale are actually different than what you might see nationally. I think it's just kind of tough to say in general that it's slowing down, because some markets and some demographics really aren't as much as what is reported. Some areas for sure. So what we did have happen here, this was a great article, by the way. It kind of talks about how we have seen this before, and historically speaking, it's not necessarily a game changer. It's nothing that is going to, I mean, it's going to be different, but it's not going to be as bad as what a lot of people are kind of making it out to be. This is our supply of inventory generally, and so you can see in the past we're just like now, basically our supply of inventory is below 1 month, right? At times. So that's what I was talking about in terms of where we're looking at now, and you see this big jump in supply of inventory. You, generally speaking, it's not that big of a jump. You're still incredibly low compared to where we were historically not too long ago. I think we're balancing for sure, but this article talks a lot about the different things that you can look it up at HomeWire. Great article, but it talks a lot about the same stuff I've kind of been mentioning. Now today was actually so our 10-year has come up here, right? So if we look at that, like back in 2004, 2002, we were still right around here, before we got into our housing situation. And what happened there, of course, I want to talk a little bit about that, and I have other videos that kind of talk about that to some length or another. What happened with the housing market situation in 2008, 2009 was a lot different than the scenario you're seeing now. We had some lending practices that shouldn't have existed in 08, 09, 010. We don't have a lot of subprime. We're starting to see them a little bit more now, but I'm pretty sure there's, and I don't know for sure, I'd have to visit with my lender friends, but there's legislation against the amount of subprime that you can do, and basically the amount of risk that you can put yourself at. Now, of course, that's not with a private banker. A private banker can probably do whatever kind of loan you guys work out, but generally a lender is not going to do anything they can't resell. So that being said, when I was talking about certain demographics that are gone, where we saw here, I should look it up and show you the article, but basically we've seen a decline of 22% in mortgage inquiries, right? So we have less mortgages. Well, what happened when the 10-year yield went up and we started to see interest rates rise, the portion of first-time home buyers assistance kind of went away. And now what's happening is a lot of lenders are stepping in and just paying that themselves, doing their own programs to be able to assist first-time home buyers. So that's a first-time home buyers down payment assistance, DPA, roughly between $10,000 to $15,000, but it was gone for a little while. Some lenders are still not going through the process to access it the way they need to. Other lenders are coming in and creating their own. So it's going to come back, and all those buyers, which are 200 to 300 range, that were gone and were not applying for loans because they couldn't get them, they're going to come back, and that'll help a little bit as well as far as our when I say help, it's really just gonna put the gas pedals down and get a little tiny bit, but that's good. I mean, we want activity. We want to see it, see the economy working. So another thing we want to look at is today, actually. So we had the highest jump in a day that we've had for quite a long time, and so I just wanted to show that and show that today's a pretty big was a pretty big jump. So, which is good to know about. So, just going through some of these, this market information, for example. This does have a lot of information in it. But generally, I think what I'm always watching for on these, which I can send any of these to you. Just let me know if you want some information. These are great from the NARR. Here at the bottom here, but they put together awesome reports in terms of assisting with, or just in terms of information and data, if you like that kind of thing. They have a lot of information, but I'm always looking at the distressed properties. We haven't seen a whole lot of increase, but I think it's still important to observe and watch, and so that's a good sign that there will be a slowdown. That's a good sign that there will more than likely be some type of drop in dramatic decrease in prices. Because the truth is, most people looking for a house, you get a good portion of that group that's actually looking for kind of a deal, and so they're trying to beat the system in a sense. And let me decrease this. So with that being said, if we start to see a lot of foreclosures, that for sure is a sign that there's an adjustment elsewhere in the economy happening. People aren't able to pay their mortgage, and so that's an issue. Not seeing anything like that, so I think that would be kind of your first tipping point, though, to identify that we're running into something that's going to be a little bit bigger of an issue. So anyway, it's still a great time to buy. I mean, you look at real estate over the long term, and you're always going up. May just take a little bit longer. So let's get a search set up for you. Let's at least find out what's out there and dig in a little bit and see if you can't be on a foreclosure or distressed property is what you're looking for. Let's get you on that list too, and get hunting for some deals. But we'll see how the market's coming. But I think I don't see anything that's nothing we haven't seen before, to be honest with you. From the numbers perspective, there's definitely a few factors playing in that we haven't seen before, but as far as just the guts of it, it doesn't seem to be anything too elaborate. So let's get you set up. TheBestArizonaHome.com, and I'm Chris Jorstead, and we're happy to help you out. So sign up today at TheBestArizonaHome.com. And I'm happy to talk more with you about the housing market, what you think is going on, and just get some more, get info on other people's opinions on it, because it sure is a pretty elaborate system. Like I said, it kind of, you get the big system, and then as you break it down smaller, it almost changes a little bit. So it's kind of interesting. So anyway, all right. Thanks for watching.